Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe. The chaos-causing faction Retribution debuted in WWE last August, where they ran roughshod over both Raw and SmackDown like petrol bombing a generator. That's serious. Throwing a concrete brick through a door window. Okay, that's more mildly inconveniencing. Signing themselves exclusively to Raw, yep, but this is getting lame now. And losing all their major feuds. Okay, they're buried. But a whole decade before WWE booked Retribution badly, we had the OGs of missed main event potential. The Nexus. The Nexus were a legit main event faction poised to create 8 brand new stars in the summer of 2010, with names like Wade Barrett, Daniel Bryan and Ryback, using the entire cast of season 1 of NXT back when it was more of a talent show format. They invaded an episode of Raw and tore up the ring in one of the most memorable wrestling angles ever. Just 2 months later, John Cena beat them all in the main event of SummerSlam and they never recovered. All of the original 8 members were either fired or left in the years that followed, but Bryan and Barrett did return to the company. What? David Otunga's still there? David Otunga is the only one that was never fired. What the hell is wrong with this company? Anyway, in a new interview with the Dropkick podcast, former Nexus member Darren Young, who was released by WWE in 2017, has claimed the faction will make their return in just a few months' time.
The WrestleMania in Tampa, again with a crowd, we're going to come back, the Nexus, him being on commentary, and he's going to rise up from the table and we're going to show up and we're going to defeat Retribution. So I'm letting you guys know that right now. I shouldn't have dropped the news, but oops.
The him on commentary Young is referring to there is Wade Barrett, who returned to WWE last August after 4 years out as the color announcer for NXT. Young's oops delivery at the end there makes it seem like he was just trolling us wrestling marks, as WWE wouldn't like him spoiling a big storyline like that. But it does reiterate what Young himself claimed on the same podcast last year, where he revealed the Nexus was scheduled to come back for WrestleMania 36, but the pandemic forced WWE to change plans. Interestingly, Ryback, no stranger to trolling wrestling fans either, confirmed Young's claim at the time, saying he'd spoken to Stu Bennett, Wade Barrett's real name, who had told him WWE was indeed planning a Nexus return for last year's WrestleMania, but whatever it wasn't to bring the group back for an angle. That's not to say if they did bring them back and it got a great reception, they wouldn't do something to follow up on Raw. If it was going well, maybe they would bring everyone back. That is a very real possibility, but what was explained to me was just a fan appearance at Access. Do you want to see a Nexus return to WWE and feud with Retribution in a failed promise match? Let me know in the comments down below, because I'll be replying to people from out of nowhere. Before we get on with the rest of the episode, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to this episode's sponsor. It's Raid Shadow Legends! When was the last time you felt like the most powerful being in the world? Alright, I get it, Charlotte Flair, you just call that Mondays. But now the rest of us can have that feeling too, on demand, with the world's biggest, best, and most badass mobile game, Raid Shadow Legends, which you can download for free to your mobile phone or PC using my links in the video description below for extra goodies. Raid has actually been sponsoring WrestleTalk for over 2 years now, so I thought I'd go back and rewatch one of our first spots all the way in April 2019, which covered Charlotte and Andrade getting married. Oh Christ alive. That is a sunburnt hairline. But the reason I wanted to play this to you is to show how much Raid has evolved in just 2 years. What I've always loved about Raid is that they never settle. They're always looking for new ways to improve the game for players. The graphics have leveled up, there are hundreds more unique champions, and they've added loads of new features like the epic Doom Tower. A giant tower with 120 floors, a bunch of secret challenge rooms, and 12 seriously badass bosses. Just check out the praise it's getting over on Reddit, other YouTube comment sections, and the App Store reviews to see for yourself. It's the perfect time to start playing, so let us help you along with a bunch of free goodies. If you're a new player downloading Raid from WrestleTalk special links in the video description below, you'll get 50,000 silver, 50 gems, 1 energy refill, 1 clan boss key, 5 mystery shots, a 1-day XP booster, and the free Epic Champion Shaman. All this treasure will be waiting for new players here in the inbox for the next 30 days. Comment down below once you've downloaded Shadow Legends and I'll reply telling you to raid that raid. Support WrestleTalk. Support Raid Shadow Legends. The great WWE factions of the early 2010s all seem to suffer a similar fate. The Nexus were beaten into oblivion, the Shield have split up with 1/3 of them now in AEW, and the Wyatt family was booked so poorly, Bray Wyatt created a whole new gimmick based entirely on its post-traumatic stress. But now Arn Anderson has revealed a very interesting backstage idea before the faction broke up, while speaking on his Arn podcast. Apparently Arn pitched an angle in a WWE creative meeting where Bray's real-life father, Mike Rotunda, the former IRS in the mid-90s, would come down to break up a Wyatt family beatdown. Brody Lee or Eric Rowan would knock him out, but then Bray would stop them saying, "Not him, not him," as a way to establish Rotunda as Bray's real dad to the audience. This would set the stage for Bo Dallas to be reintroduced as Bray's real-life brother, a literal Wyatt family, where Arn wanted Bo to be the only literally clean-shaven babyface amongst these monsters with these foot-long beards, which would provide so many heel-face dynamics to play off. Dallas, unfortunately, hasn't been used by WWE for almost 2 years on TV. His last match was at October 2019's Crown Jewel show in Saudi Arabia. But Bo wasn't the only WWE star pitched to join the Wyatt family, and no, it still isn't Paige's sister Abigail. It's Victor, obviously of the Ascension. Talking to Wrestling Inc., Victor himself has revealed that down in NXT, before the Wyatt family were called up to the main roster, he got injured, prompting a kind of weird scramble where I was almost in the Wyatt family for a little while. This was, of course, shot down, and Triple H and Norman Smiley put him in the Ascension faction, which was eventually whittled down to just him and Connor as a tag team. It's hard for young wrestlers to properly make it in WWE these days, so it's nice to see up-and-comer Edge win the Royal Rumble last week at the sprightly age of 47. While I personally very much enjoyed Edge's Royal Rumble win, setting him up for a reported WWE Blue Universal Championship match against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 37, I am very aware of my own hypocrisy. I've criticised Goldberg plenty for fighting for and winning the top title over the last 4 years. Build someone new, I say. Give a wrestler who's there day in, day out a chance. Goldberg doesn't need the title anyway, and it undermines the rest of the roster's quality that someone can come in over 50 years old with loads of ring rust and just beat them. But now it's Edge, it's all okay because Christian came back too, yay. But a lot of people have, understandably, heavily criticised Edge for winning the Rumble match, an idea that was apparently his that he pitched backstage, not just a case of Vince McMahon thinking, ratings. Edge has now responded to the criticism on After the Bell with Corey Graves. I can't control people's opinions. I can't control if people have ageism issues. What I want to do is come back and tell how the story is told and tell it with multiple dance partners. If those dance partners can take something from it, that's my goal. Edge specifically mentioned Cesaro, Damian Priest, Finn Balor, and Matt Riddle in the interview as people he wants to elevate as part of his run, while also sharing his experienced wisdom with them all. One of Edge's detractors, though, is AEW star Dax Harwood. Thanks for your support on Patreon, the roller coaster, Robert Acosta, and Luke's favourite fan, the one, the only, the awesome Bubba. FTR's Dax has tweeted about Edge and Christian. They wouldn't have been able to keep up with us in 2001, much less 2021. And to be honest, in my opinion, Edge and Christian were pretty overrated. And then explained Christian was great, past tense. Speaking of, Edge told Sporting News that Christian was actually cleared a few months ago ahead of his WWE return in the Men's Rumble match, making it incredible all involved actually still kept that a secret. But while Edge sees himself as someone who can make new stars like Cesaro, WWE sees Cesaro as someone who can make new stars like Edge. According to last Friday's Wrestling Observer newsletter, Cesaro has either signed or verbally agreed to a new WWE deal last month, likely meaning he'll be with the company for a long time. Apparently Cesaro was Daniel Bryan's original pick to run the gauntlet on SmackDown a few weeks back, but because he hadn't signed at that point, WWE went for Shinsuke Nakamura instead. There were hopes that Nakamura might then face Roman Reigns at a B pay-per-view like Elimination Chamber or the biggest show of the year, Fastlane. But Meltzer writes, the plan wasn't to follow up much on Shinsuke's gauntlet run, and either him or Cesaro have been told their role moving forward is to make new stars. And Cesaro isn't the only person who's not going to be in AEW anytime soon. Neither is their women's champion. Hikaru Shida has tweeted that she's just landed in Japan for the AEW women's tournament. Because of quarantine rules over there, that means she won't be able to appear on anything taped in Japan for at least 2 weeks. The Women's Eliminator Tournament is split into 2 brackets, with one in the US and the other taking place in Japan. The winner of the Japanese side will then travel to the States for the final. There's no word yet on how Shida will be involved in the Japanese tapings, but it's speculated those matches won't be broadcast fully on Dynamite because they won't have the same production standards TNT is used to. Elsewhere in AEW, Fightful Select is reporting that Kip Sabian is actually injured right now, which is why he hasn't wrestled since early December's Winter is Coming special. There are currently no details on what the injury is. And speaking again on his Arn podcast, Nightmare family member and Cody's trainer Arn Anderson has teased life-changing news coming soon for him in AEW. He spoke about wanting to manage FTR for a long time because they're such a throwback to his days as the Brainbusters, but his former tag partner from then, Tully Blanchard, has them covered. Instead, there's something that's going to be happening, I hope pretty soon on AEW. I will keep that close to the vest until that does happen, but it will change my life 100%, and it will change that individual's life 100% as far as building a new tag team for the future. That may be the first building block, and we'll just sit on that for now, but there are some plans in the works. Who do you think Arn will be managing as a team in AEW? Let me know in the comments down below. It won't be an ROH defecting Foundation faction though, which might be one of the only promotions currently not working with AEW. Ring of Honor have announced they've re-signed 2 top stars, the Pure and Tag Team Champion Jonathan Gresham and his Tag Team Champion partner Jay Lethal. Last Thursday saw WWE announce their 2020 financials, which was just a long numbers-filled way of saying, we're in the money, we're in the money, but it's been pointed out that money is about as tied to reality as a GameStop valuation, as WWE's TV ratings are falling at an increasingly rapid pace. WWE's explanation for that was that just more people are watching online now, and everything's fine. So here's Simon Longdon to tell you more with ScreenGrapple.
What kind of eyeballs have you got? WWE thinks you may have misplaced your linear eyeballs for digital ones, like some sort of Gen Z Mr. Potato Head. This, of course, came from their Q4 earnings call, which I've handily renamed for them a WWE Masterclass in Corporate Bullshit. So this is Nick Khan. I wonder if Vince has asked him to change his name at this point. At least sort of floated the idea, because someone must have accidentally said Tony Khan instead of Nick Khan, or just a slip of the tongue. Vince must have been like, oh, we should call this guy Mr. Jihad or like Super Ayatollah or something horrifying that he would say. I wouldn't say that. That was Vince. So they obviously don't think that they've been losing any viewers, but thanks to Brandon Thurston at WrestleNomics, did some very interesting research that WWE programming is losing an audience faster on average than television as a whole is. But he says, if you look at even our Facebook numbers, which are significantly up the last 6 months or so, so they think they found the eyeballs now. The eyeballs were missing, they've just been found on Facebook. I'm not convinced that a bunch of Gen Z digital nomads left watching Raw so they could catch up on the clips on Facebook. That's not happening. I mean, again, we're talking about investors here. I think Facebook might be the only thing they've heard of. He says that we believe with the continued great in-ring product. There is great in-ring product. The problem is that they have 3 matches in a 3-hour show, and then the rest of the time they are around doing inane, pointless shit. That's the problem. He's saying that with a great in-ring product, they will get those eyeballs. Those linear eyeballs are going to come flying back to linear TV. They have been saying this for years, that somehow WWE, with its unique, great in-ring product that is apparently constantly improving despite the world being against it, that somehow it will do the opposite of what every single other thing in the world on linear TV is doing, which is slightly losing numbers to digital.
Follow us on Twitter at WrestleTalk_TV to know when the next episode of ScreenGrapple goes live there. And what are the 10 worst mistakes WWE has ever made with Roman Reigns? Click the video on the right to watch Adam Blompier's latest list, and subscribe to Parts Unknown, where his videos will be moving to exclusively in 2 weeks' time. Remember to support WrestleTalk and download Raid Shadow Legends. I've been Mr. Davis. Raid that raid.